Yes. Let me just clear the desk a little. Look at my fancy cup.
Oh my God, yes.
And no. Look at this though.
What does it say?
화이트 눈물 마시자. That means let's drink white tears. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do the proper intro.
Okay.
This is the 35th episode of Kimchi Slaps. I have to do it lighter. By your Funny Unnni. It did say we were gonna record, right?
Yes, it did. Or
Okay.
yeah, it said it was recording on my end.
Okay. There's another light there. Ooh, look at all these lights I have.
Nice.
Yeah. You as a director would appreciate good lighting.
Oh, absolutely. Get
Absolutely.
after it.
Okay, Larissa, introduce yourself to the world or to my
Hi.
10 people audience.
That's great. I feel comfortable with 10 or
Okay.
11.
Tell us your full name.
So my name's Larissa Pruett. My director credit name is LP Dohi. I took my initials, and then my grandmother's maiden name, Dohi. And
Oh,
yeah, just I had
I
an
did always wonder where that came from.
yeah, grandmother's maiden name. I just wanted to bring it back because it's gone. It went away.
Oh, I
It got
love
married
that.
out.
And
Um,
this is your literal bookshelf in the background. It's so cute.
it's my kitchen bookshelf, like, yeah, I mean, it's very strange. It's got old books and then Harry Potter books, which, because I don't know, what do you do with them? Do you get rid of them? Do you
No,
keep? Yeah, okay.
oh, that's a tough one,
I
right?
know. And so I just tucked it away because it was my first story love.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
then
that's a really important
yeah,
thing that we could be talking about. I'm so torn because my sons are getting into
yeah.
Harry Potter. Gavin is 11 years old. And
Oh, the perfect age.
not only that, like I could have chosen not to introduce the Harry Potter books, but his class is Harry Potter themed.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
Yeah.
it's impossible to avoid.
Yeah, it is. It's the whole concept of separating the art and the artist or
What do you
whatever.
think about that? Can you separate
Oh my
the art
God.
from the
It's
artist?
I think
Wow,
it's
what a loaded topic to start your.
such a low. I know. I don't know if I know what the right thing to do. I mean, man, yeah. I think it's like I appreciate what it was when I had it when I was a kid. I think I just took it as an like as a reason to grow out of it. Like I was like, okay, I can leave that behind and move on to other stories and other storytellers, and like I don't have to spend so many. Every once in a while I'd reread them. I think at times
But
I'll still reread
you're
them.
okay with letting it go.
I'm okay with letting it go. I
Yeah.
think it's like I mean, but again, I grew up with it. I had it, and I needed it when I had it because I'm a it's not a very strong reader. So those stories helped me read, made me read for they made me want to read for the first time in my life as a kid. And
Wow,
so
that's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate that about them. And then also I really appreciate that they grew with me, like
Yeah.
the reading kind of got more challenging as the books
Yes.
further.
And
So it
that's
was
the
like
beauty of
perfect
those
timing.
books. Yeah, it
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
grew with the readers. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's okay to let it go and move on to all the other possible stories in the world. And there's just so many artists in the world that have probably just as good storytelling that are just buried under us not knowing who they are,
Yeah.
like just the spreading the word, I guess. But yeah,
I love
um,
that.
yeah,
Um, just so everybody can understand how we got to know each other,
yes,
will you tell the story of how we met?
yeah. Okay, so uh, when was this? 2018, 20,
Yeah,
2018,
I want to say
2018 or 2019?
18
We both submitted to the same festival. We didn't know each other yet,
at all.
at all. There's this really great festival in Boston called Women in Comedy festival, and there's a film portion, stand-up, sketch, improv, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it is such a good festival. I don't know if it's running currently because I look it
Went on
up.
a little hiatus because of
Yeah.
COVID. It really took whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and
But I
I
think
don't
they may be aiming to come back. Yeah.
I really hope they do, because it really is my favorite festival I've ever been invited to. Is just the best. They provide so much for so many people. So we met, where did we meet at your show, at your stand-up show?
Yes. I think you guys saw me perform. Just happened
Yes.
to be there. So you were there as a short film.
Yes, so me and my roommate at the time, friend, we submitted both, or she submitted a film, I submitted a film, we both got in, so it's so
Yes.
exciting, and we both were like, we have to go together. So we went, got an Airbnb, had like the best week. We went to all the events, or as many as we could handle, because they do have events that are on top of one another, which is like
Yes.
good and bad, because I
Right. I want to
genuinely
go to
want to
all
see
of them, but
I
there
want
were
to see
like
everything.
comedy shows. There were like I don't know, what do you call it? Tutorials, just all sorts of stuff for women.
Yeah,
By
classes.
women. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's incredible. So we went to your comedy show, and I think we just were like, we were really pushing ourselves to just say hi, which is like for difficult for us as a duo. So we were like, okay, we'll go to the show anytime we see somebody that we're really impressed with, or just like that we admire, we need to just be like, hey, good job. That's it. That was like our requirement. We were like, just tell them, like, people want to hear that they did good. Let's just say that.
Yes. And you did that for me. You and Bianca did that for me.
Yeah, we were blown away. We were like, we have to tell her good job. And I remember just being like, okay, and we were both probably, our heart was like, we're like, good job, thank you. Like, we're directors, we're behind the camera, we're very like just quietly whispering in our journal to ourselves. And so we said hi, we told you good job, and then you were like, do you want to hang out? Or is that you just
Yeah.
you were like, oh, are you guys hungry? Do you want to get something to eat? And we were like, I like yeah, we could, and you just like carried us.
And y'all made my day. Like, and you're
Oh.
absolutely right. I had not done at that time many festivals. This was like the major one that I had gotten into.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm in Boston. I felt like, I don't know if Boston people will get my humor. And I had just finished, and I was like running off stage. I was like, I think I did all right. I don't know. I think I did okay. And then there's these two hot chicks that were like right as I got off the stage or something, I run into you guys, and you're like, hey, you did great. And I was like, okay. I'm like, no, really, like, you meant it. You meant it. At
Yeah.
first I was like, I don't know where this is coming from. And then when I sensed that you were so sincere, and it meant, I'm so glad y'all did that, because of course that led us to becoming lifelong friends.
Yeah.
And that couldn't have happened if you didn't like make that decision to do that. And how impactful that's been in my life, having you guys.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
It's really hard to, I mean, it's difficult for me, and I speak for Bianca. I know it's hard for her. It's hard for both of us to kind of like come out of our shell and just say hi to people. Like, it's a very difficult networking
I think
thing.
y'all are, what would you say, you're introverts ish?
She's more introverted. I'm introverted until I know you, and
Exactly.
then
I mean, her too. Like, I feel
yes,
like once
absolutely.
y'all are both comfortable, you are.
Yeah, then
Everything.
we're fine, but it's like
Right,
that
but the initial awkwardness.
also intimidated. Like, we were like, this girl just killed it. She's probably like huge. We're just like, no, like nobody know, you know what I mean? We were just like, just could have pushed ourselves, and we're just gonna say like,
And here I was like, oh my God, these two like super cool looking girls are like, you did so great. And I was like, I think they actually mean it. I don't think
we did.
yeah.
It's
And it
really
was
neither of us could just like, yeah.
that comedy festival was magical.
It really was magical. It was like it I will never forget it. It's one of my favorite experiences I've ever had. Like, I met so many great people that are continuing to blow up. Like,
Yeah.
I will look them up after 4 or 5 years from the festival, and I'm like, they're killing it. They're doing it. And
Yeah,
like,
I love knowing what you guys are up to. I don't know if this whole time this okay. And that particular experience, I think, really expanded my mind in that
Mhm.
I don't have to be in this little like corner of network, that I can
Yeah.
be out there and
Yeah.
connect with other wonderful creators like yourselves. And then we went again the following year and you won all the awards.
Yeah, it was that was a good year. That was
That
we
was
did go the
you won the ultimate award, best short, best director, everything.
it was a great year. That was a really good feeling. I came in really wanting more than I had gotten the year before. I
Right.
just like I had a taste of it and I was like, all right, I'm ready. I am
It
gonna
did the
go.
thing for you. It propelled you.
Yes. Oh, because I loved that
You.
festival and I was like, I want to come back every year. I want to become a regular at this festival. I want it to be like part of where I
Yeah,
can boost from, because there's so many good networking opportunities of other women who really want to help.
yeah,
I'm surrounded by comedy, which is my favorite thing in the world.
yeah.
And oh my God, it was truly like, it's the best. Yeah. And then I won money that year and it paid for my ticket and my Airbnb. And it was the best.
Woo!
The best.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just like such a relief. I was like, oh
Yes.
my God, that's exactly what I would have wanted as a filmmaker.
And now you're living in LA.
Yes.
And how is that LA life?
LA is
And you're working in the film industry.
yes. So LA is a funny place, but it's my favorite place in the world. I just like the energy of it. I can understand how a lot of people dislike it. I fully understand why, but there's something about the way this city's heartbeat matches with mine, and I just feel at peace with the chaos a little bit.
Wow.
Um, but it can be a lot depending on what area you are and what people you've surrounded yourself with or that are near you. Like, because there's a lot of bad energies, bad vibes, bad people. So you kind of have to find the people, and it takes a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
yeah,
did
living in LA,
when I
yeah.
was trying to schedule the afternoon one and you mentioned, oh, I have my therapy at
Yeah,
4.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, Tell us
That's an LA
about
thing. That is an LA thing, yeah.
did you not get therapy before?
No, I had therapy even in college, early college, but only for like a couple months or
And
maybe
actually, there's
a
another factor that connects us. You're half Korean.
I have Japanese.
What?
Yes.
This whole time I thought you
Wait, that's even better. How did we mix that up?
were okay. Yes, you're half Asian. You're Asian.
Yes,
You're Asian. Oh my God! This whole time,
I
I,
love that.
I'm sure you told me, and I rewrote. Like she's more like me.
Yeah, 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 that's
I
fair.
just decided to rewrite your identity because you know
That's okay. That's perfect. That's fine.
what I
It
can't
is,
believe
there's
there's
that
a
bonding thing. You're like, it makes sense that we're even closer. Like, I feel that.
earlier. I was like, "Do you see this cup? Can you
And I
read
was like,
it?"
I know,
Why? And you were
I
like,
know.
I
Yeah.
don't know." I'm all like, "Come on, we're not reading Korean."
Could you, that would be incredible if I had also learned written Korean.
And you're
I'd
just
be, I'd be,
like,
I'd be so impressive. Wait, hold on. I can't hear your audio. Why is that?
what? Did I
Oh,
break
wait,
it?
no,
Because
you're
I
back.
was
You're
too
back.
loud?
For a second,
Oh, I must have screeched the audio out.
oh.
When I laugh too loud, the audio just cuts out.
The audio's like, no.
No, this is too much.
we
We can't
the
handle this.
audio is setting boundaries,
Yeah,
It's like
it's
I
the
can't.
time of boundaries. No,
Yeah.
but I was curious because you're one of, like, just from the energies that I get from people, and I'm big on like reading people's like vibe, energy. Like I'm not,
Mhm.
I don't do the whole gathering of the stones or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I am big on first impressions, like getting a good energy from someone else that balances out with mine.
Mhm.
But to me, you've always very struck me as this like super chill, like balanced, like nothing phases you kind of person. So when you dropped the whole therapy thing, like, oh, I have therapy for, I was surprised, to be honest. I
Really?
mean, but I shouldn't have been, because everybody should fucking go to therapy.
Yeah, it's
But
great. It's the
like,
best.
when did that start?
So, well, I first went to therapy when I was going through like a really bad breakup in college. And I was just like,
Wait, speaking of breakup,
yeah,
when I saw you in 2018,
yeah,
you were with someone, and you're no,
yes.
are you with someone else now?
No, we broke up for 3 months at 7 years. We got that 7 year
That's
age.
right. There was long history there.
Yeah, yeah. And we got back together after a couple months and we're engaged now. We're so
Ah!
slow. We're so slow. We're like we waited to 8, 9 years to get engaged, and now
You
my
guys
whole
broke up and dated, like tried dating other people just to
kind
see.
of, yeah, it was just like I think I needed some space. I don't know what he needed, but I needed some space to just be like, I just need like some time to think about this.
Because
And
y'all were young though. I mean, you met in what, high
we
school?
met in college. We met
Oh,
when
you did
I
meet in
was
college.
23 or 24. Or we met when I was 21.
How old
We
are you
didn't
now?
date 32.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've been together almost 10 years now,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we
yeah,
were friends for almost 2 years before, like pretty good
yeah,
friends. Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
would go out together, we would try to get each other like hookup buddies. We'd be like, how's she's cute, like we were
Wow.
like, I'll talk to her. Like that was, and then we started to date after a couple years of knowing each other. Been together for lived together the minute we got together. We've been living together for almost 10 years.
Wow. Wait, was
But
this the breakup that rocked your world that made you go get therapy?
no, in college I had a boyfriend of 5 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I love I'm
You
a
like
serial
being in a relationship.
monogamist.
Yeah.
So after that breakup, I really just wanted to move on, and I was just like, what's wrong with me that I can't? And so I was just like, I gotta talk to a professional about this because I don't know how to do this without somebody being like, hey,
And this
what's
was, how old were you when you did that?
oh 20
Okay. Oh, yeah.
21. No,
Okay.
no, no,
Now,
sorry, I was older. 21 or 22. 21
okay.
or
And
22.
now you're decade later, you're in therapy again.
Yes.
What are you dealing with? If you don't
I
mind me asking.
just everything, the pressure I put myself under um to just do everything all the time every day.
Yes.
I I just I like really mean to myself. Like I'm like, oh, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you get out of bed when you woke up? You woke up and you just laid in bed for 10 minutes. You could have been learning Korean in those 10 minutes. You didn't like it's like I just very much like and then you did nothing. And then my phone is like has little time limits on it, and it'll be like, oh, you've been on Instagram for 15 minutes. And then I'll be like, 15 minutes? That's 1/4 of an hour. That's you could have been like, so I just try to be like, you know what? It's okay. You can have some rest time. Just like have your work time and then your rest time. And then
What does your
I also
therapist tell you?
um to be nice and that I'm doing a lot. My therapist is like, you're doing great. Like calm down. Like
Yeah.
you're fine.
You know
I
what? I
what?
actually could totally relate to that because what do you think makes you that way? I love your confidence,
Um
by the way.
What's that?
I love that you're drinking out of your cunt cup.
Yes. Yeah.
I
There it is.
think I didn't notice. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
What did you ask again?
What did I ask?
Yeah, did you ask me
Yeah.
something?
What makes you that way?
Oh, right.
Because it's definitely a thing I struggle with. I
Yeah.
punish myself constantly.
Yeah.
Where do you think
Mhm.
that comes from?
I think I want to do a good job. I grew up I have ADHD and dyslexia. I grew up in a small town with teachers who didn't really know how to teach me properly. Um Public school teachers, it's not their fault.
Right.
But so I felt
And
really
that's at a
dumb.
time like when you were a
Yeah.
kid, those things were not things people were talking
No,
about.
and I'm a really like daydreamer, ADD.
Yeah.
Like I just would just like drift off, and then the teacher would be like, and that's the assignment. And I'd be like, how
What
long
just
have I
happened?
been here?
Yeah.
Like what time is it?
Yeah.
And and so I did really bad in school. It was just really, school was like I had to work 3, 4 times as hard. Like I just couldn't pay attention. I couldn't understand things. And so I felt from the beginning behind. Like I naturally am like, you are behind. You should know these things. You should know
Yeah.
American history. Like you should know English grammar. Like you should know
And when
grammar
you get
properly.
that instilled in you at a young age,
Yeah. Oh
like
yeah. That was
your
just,
brain, the way you talk to yourself, and I think
yeah.
that's what I struggle with. I
Yeah.
didn't. I probably could get diagnosed with ADHD. I always say that, but I had parents that were like, "You need to not embarrass us." You
Yeah.
like I from the get go, they were like, and I found out. I think I already told you that I was a stepdaughter.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that growing up, but like in Korean culture, that's still super taboo and stigma. And they're like, you already, like, I didn't know that I was already an embarrassment.
You're
Like,
right. And then
yeah. And
you
they're
could,
like,
but you
you
could
need to
feel
like
it.
not be an eyesore. You need to not fuck up. You need to do everything well because you're already a fuck up.
Yeah.
But when you get that in your young age, so then see, I'm a decade older than you. Like, literally, I'm 41.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah,
Oh, that's
so I
shocking.
will tell you, I mean, I don't know if this will help you, or no, I mean, I don't know. I did my thing of hustle. Like
Yeah.
I call it the hustle culture. Remember, it's like very much like you gotta go out there and be all about it. It's that whole P. Diddy, Danity K making of the band. Like, you want this, you want this. If you want it, you gotta hustle, you gotta breathe, live, that
Yeah.
mentality was something that everybody, even in society, pushed. And I remember like I was like, go, go, go. Like, I'm gonna feel successful if my photography business takes off. And I did that. Like my photography business, my own business under my name was making
Yeah.
good money. Every year I was like turning around profit higher than the last year. I was like, okay, I'm doing good, good, good. And I totally burnt out.
Yeah.
And I just didn't even want to pick up my camera anymore.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I'm just like, I did the thing. I did it well. I thought this was supposed to make me feel whole. Like once I
Yeah.
got to this, because you're always like looking to get to the peak. And you're
Yeah.
like, once I get there, I'm gonna be happier. Once I get there, once I get that thing. And I did that. And then I was lost. Like
Yeah.
I didn't get the reward, or I don't know. Like I was like, this is it. Like, and I realized so much of my own identity is dependent on external validation.
Yeah.
And I'm at 41 trying to let that go. And
Mm-hmm.
like, it's so fucking hard because I'm like, am I just being lazy?
Yeah.
Am I, or like, the whole be nice to yourself. I'm so nice to other people. But when it comes to myself, like, no, you're lying to yourself that this is
Mm-hmm.
being kind. You're just being lazy. You just fucking like don't want to get out of bed. And
Yeah.
that's just pure laziness. That's your depression. And you're letting your depression win. Like this constant battle in the head is so exhausting. So I go
Yeah.
to therapy and I take medication for my anxiety, depression. And I'm at a point where I just want to turn it off. Like
Yeah.
I'm so tired. I am so fucking that's why like when I hear you, I like relate to you so much in that aspect because I'm like, I want to just be, and that be enough. Or like I want to do things, of
Yeah.
course, but like
Yeah.
it's a especially in your industry or
Mm-hmm.
in what we do or like in arts or whatever, like to achieve, you need that pressure, right?
Yeah.
To
A little
get
bit,
things
yeah.
done. And especially like you're out in LA competing with like everybody's a filmmaker, everybody's an actor, everybody's a director, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But it's like, that balance.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it?
Well, I have found that all my favorite stories that I want to write, all my favorite moments that I want to put in my films, all of those come from just like living, like going to the grocery store and running into someone and just being like, well, that was a weird encounter, and then like writing it down, like I balance it by knowing that realistically, if I were to put myself in a room and lock the door and work, my work wouldn't be saying anything about real life experience. It would just be like this one person's, the single mind and their perspective, which can work. But I think that most film and most storytelling benefits from getting feedback and just realistic moments that are happening. So it's like I think that I have to balance it by taking time off to just hang out and laugh with my friends, or they tell a story and it reminds me of a story that I haven't thought about in years, but it's so
Yeah.
funny to me. I need to rewrite it down and just like find a spot for it
Yeah.
in whatever script I'm working on. And um the only thing is sometimes I spend my time hanging out looking for it too much. Like I just need to genuinely separate it and just be like, oh, we're gonna go, camping for the weekend, and I'm not like, oh, there's gonna be some good stuff in here. Bring your journal and keep writing the whole time. Like it's just like, just live and you'll remember what was good.
Cut out. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that if you I think you get burnt out really easily when you just like head down, work hard nonstop, and then you're also not like looking at what's going on in the world. What does the world want to hear? Like what are you hearing from the world? Like you kind of can't do this and do it well.
I'm so glad you said that because that is what I wish I had done in my 20s. Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
busy running.
Yeah.
And I feel like I missed out on being there, like being
Yeah.
my own life. And
Yeah.
you're realizing it earlier than I ever did. And
Yeah. And I can say a lot of things, but it takes me a long time to
oh,
really,
you know
like,
what? Same.
yeah. It's
I
like
feel like
I'll say it. I'll be like, this is what you need to do, and then I'll go to my
isn't
room
that
and
the thing? It's so easy to say it. It's so easy to like sometimes I don't like going to therapy or get myself to therapy. I'm like, they're gonna say what I already know.
Mhm.
Like I know I should be kinder to myself. I
Oh yeah,
know it.
that's
I'm like, I do I really need to set aside an hour to tell why do I have to hear it from someone else? But you
yeah.
do. That's the weird thing is like
I
you
know,
do.
and we are like, it's just, I think it's harder for people who already know better, right? We're all like, well, I know what I need to do. I need to drink more water, and I need to do
Yeah.
this, and I need to sleep 8 hours, and I need to do, and it's like, okay, yeah, but there's just like, there's something really healthy about talking to a professional in a field that like maybe you should admit you know nothing about,
And
and
also someone that's not your friend.
yeah, because your friend is gonna hear the same thing over and over and over again without change. Like
Yeah.
we're just gonna be like, oh, that sucks. Maybe you should try this, and then you're probably not gonna try it because why would you take you're just gonna be living in your circle and your
Yeah.
thing where you're like paying someone. You're like, well, I better try it because I spent this amount of money on this person to just tell me these things.
Exactly.
So I'm
Exactly. There's
gonna
an element of I spent money here though.
Yeah. There, you better get, do something
Something
with
out of this.
information
This
you're
better be
receiving.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you working on now? Like you're everywhere.
I'm working on, this year I really want to make, um, I make a lot of like films, short films, sketches.
Yes.
Like I do a lot of that. This year I really want to focus on making very quality short films with one S. Maybe two maximum. Like I really want to take my time with the script. I don't want to, because like what I often do is I pick a date and I'm like, oh, I need to have this done by this film festival competition.
I
And
know.
then it's like, oh, okay, I have to be done writing today. Okay, I
Yeah.
should start shooting tomorrow. And it's like, well,
But
if I,
that's the
yeah,
thing, right? We're procrastinators, and unless there's a deadline, we tend
if
to
there's a
not
deadline,
do
it's
it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do it without a deadline. I'm just trying to work on one of my short films, the scripts once a day for like anywhere from 15 minutes to a couple hours. Like I don't, a lot of people who we all hate writing. I think everybody hates writing. It's the
Yeah.
worst.
The worst part of doing, like for me, a comedy show is just sitting there and put in
And
the work
writing.
and
Yeah,
writing.
absolutely. It's the
And I'm
worst. It's the worst.
like
So what
there's
I try to do is just do it in, oh, so let's say I put my lunch in the oven and it's got like 15 minutes. Okay, open your computer, write for 15 minutes. Like there's no like I have to write for 8 hours today,
mm,
or I don't deserve
yeah, the
to see my
punishment.
friends.
Yeah.
Like, so that's horrible. Like, no, I mean, if you're writing for 8 hours, good job, but I can't do that. I'm very distracted so easily. So it's like 15 minutes is pretty good. Like
Yeah.
15 minutes is going to get me a couple sentences, a couple thoughts, maybe think of some ideas and then go, okay, cool. And then it's like, ding, food. Okay, great. Like, so
What do you
I,
do to
yeah,
pay the bills?
edit. I'm an editor right now. And I
Oh,
do grip and electric on sets, commercials, music videos, promos.
ah,
So it's really freelancing. But right now I'm doing a lot of editing for and social media managing for very few people.
wow.
Um, yeah, but I like doing that. The editing portion of that comes really natural to me. Like I can kind of like feel when things should be cutting, when are we losing the audience's attention? Why? Because I'm losing attention.
Oh,
So
you
like
know
when
what? You just reminded me of, like, I just watched this it's like all the greatest coaches are sitting down and talking about their coaching methods, and
mm,
Patrick Mata, I can never say his last name, but Serena Williams' coach,
mm-hmm,
like one of the greatest, and he talks about how when he was a kid, he was super shy, super
yeah,
shy, and he could not talk to people. And he said that was like, but he's like, you know what? You turn your weaknesses into a strength. And he said
mm,
that when he was a kid, because he was extremely shy, he went a year of therapy to speak one word. Like
oh,
it took him a year to just get out one word to the therapist
oh,
as a child
oh,
because he was extremely shy. But now
mm,
he's like, now it's become my superpower because I can read a player's language from
yeah,
not even saying anything, because that's what I used to just observe people
yeah,
to understand the social situation, to try to get my courage to say something because I couldn't speak. But it like allowed me to like observe people in a way, and it's become my super strength in
mm,
coaching the greatest athletes of the world. And I'm like,
yeah,
and that's you, like you've now like that honed in on the skill, like what catches your attention,
yeah,
what tunes you in.
yeah.
How beautiful is that?
It's
Like,
really nice. I like that as a job. I really do like doing that for work right now. I don't,
you found your rhythm in LA.
yeah, I definitely found like a couple jobs, pockets of jobs here and there that don't take like I don't have the skills to be a very good waitress or work at a restaurant. I just never fit in. I worked at a couple restaurants and I just like I'm not the right energy of restaurant people who are good at it. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I just like don't have it in my body or brain. So it's like if I can stay home and someone can send me like 15 videos that they're just like, oh, I need all these edited somehow, then I can just make my way through
What are
it.
these, like commercials or what? Like,
For the ones that I'm at home, like it's TikTok or Instagram or Reels. Like it's very like, yeah,
wow.
it's all short form. It's for a handful of TikTok people or Instagram people in one business.
Wow.
And so it's just like really random hourly. Sometimes I'll do with somebody if they're like they don't really they can't really afford my day rate, so they'll be like, can I just have you for a couple hours to edit? Cause I mean, coming from me, like I don't really like being in front of the camera. It's not my favorite place to be. So like if I was in front of the camera all the time and then I also had to go in and edit my
Oh,
own
I hate editing.
face,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
absolutely not. I would just cut the whole thing down to any time the camera's
Wow.
not on me. So like when I can get, I'm just like, if that's like a pain, like come here. Like I got you.
Wow.
I'll watch this. I
Wow.
know these people. I watch their other stuff. I understand what they should be posting. I understand what their engagement is, what they want to post, what they like, also transferring them from certain types on their social media into what they want to be, because sometimes you kind of like
Wow.
skyrocket in a direction you're like, uh-oh.
Oh,
I'm
can you
now
get me away from the racists?
yeah, yeah, I can absolutely do that. I mean, I can get you, well, we could figure something out where we're slowly making our way from them. They're everywhere though, so
I found my way. I found out that I'm being talked about on Ben Shapiro's podcast, Lives of TikTok on Twitter, and I've just been getting massive hate.
oh man.
I didn't even, somebody was like, did you know you're on Ben Shapiro's podcast? I was like, how the fuck would I know? Like,
Yeah, why would you?
I don't
They're
listen
not gonna
to it,
check.
and I don't know anybody that listens to it. So like, how the fuck would I know that? And then it only dawned on me when somebody was like, you're on Ben Shapiro, or like a comment, and that's the only I was like, oh, that explains the whole slew of hate that I'm getting.
So it just suddenly
Yeah, it will
came out.
surge. It will like
Oh,
I'm like, I must be on somewhere. Somebody
yeah,
somebody's
somebody.
sharing something, and sure enough, you can always like see where the surge came from. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that I'm like,
That to me is really scary. Uh, I yeah, I have a couple friends who get a lot of hate comments, and I even from my perspective of being like degrees away can feel it.
yeah,
I'm just like, ah, ow, what?
yeah,
That is so, and I've had probably enough to count on my couple hands, like not very many. But they affect me really deeply. Like I haven't come to a place where I've needed to talk about it in therapy because it's not as often, it's not often for me, but I see a lot of friends just deal with it and struggle with it. And I mean, from my very uneducated, unprofessional opinion, it's like ignoring it and moving onward. But that's like,
oh yeah, no, I've
it's,
gotten to a point where I've had to like detach from it.
yeah,
And it kind of
yeah.
it happens so much. It's not even something like I try to do. It just I think my brain was like,
Your
can't.
brain's protecting you. Your
Yeah,
brain is like compartmentalizing it. It's like,
yeah,
we can't feel this. We're already,
yeah.
my brain's like, we hate ourselves plenty.
Exactly,
You don't
exactly
need
that.
these
Like, do you
comments.
think? Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah,
Exactly that.
even the
But
bully in my brain is
I'm
like,
so
I got
excited
you.
to be in LA and hanging. I get to hang out
Oh,
with
I'm so excited to see you.
you. Oh my god,
I'm so
it's
excited.
Women History Month. I
Yeah,
thought you would have a script for me.
I know. I know. It's already hard enough to just write, and it's taken me like, let's see here.
I thought I was
Maybe
supposed to be your muse.
you are. Send me some. Well, here's what I usually do with people who I want to work with, but I haven't like I wish I could write like that, just nonstop. I usually am like, okay, what do we want? What do we want from this? Like, how can we elevate? Like, what can I provide? I usually provide depends on what level we want to do, because I have a crew. I cannot have a crew.
No, no,
I
no,
can
no,
do
no, no. I'm low budget.
yes, but I'm saying if it's something you're like, oh, you know what? I really wanted to start elevating my content. I want, like, for example, like, are you trying to become into this world that's like Trevor Noah, you're behind a desk, you're doing a talk show. Like, are we like, what's your goal? Like, where are we headed? Are we going like
Okay, bye now.
but if you were to dream, let's put you in a dream world where
Well,
it's
you know
like,
what? There is a concept that I wanted you to help me flesh out because, and I think it's a universal concept. And
great.
it just like it was a little like story, but not really. Like it's like so. And I think that any women, and I even like you as a woman, like you would know what this feels like in a man's world. I was out doing something, and this woman was like, "Oh, we're the kids," and I was like, "Oh, with dad." And then this woman says to me, "What a great dad."
Yeah.
What a great dad. Like, oh my God, he's so wonderful, isn't he? And I said, I said, so am I. I'm wonderful too.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm like, no, you didn't offend me, but like men do the bear. I'm with these fucking kids all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says to me, you're so fucking great. Like, right? But like, God forbid I mention he's had home once with the kids, and people are like, greatest man in the world. Like, where's my fucking accolade? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that is like such a universal feeling for women.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
if we could tap into something like that to make a little skit,
Yep.
something to float in your brain. Just
I like that. I mean, that is truly such a old stereotype that is still so fresh on
well,
people's
and
minds.
then I could tell she felt clearly bad. She's like, you know what? You got me thinking. Like it's a compliment, right? It was meant to be positive. I get
It was
it.
meant to just be like, it's so nice.
Yeah.
You must feel really lucky to have
And I
a,
always tell Donis, and that's the other thing. Luckily I'm married to I shouldn't say that. I should be just able to say I'm married to a great partner who actually understands all this stuff. But I was telling him, like, I just want you to know that you're not a great dad. you're just, you seem great because your gender sucks so bad. And
yeah.
word. I'm like, agreed? Agreed. Okay. I just want you to know. And luckily I do have a partner who understands where I'm coming from. He's like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I remember telling a girlfriend, like he was changing the diaper, and they're like, oh, that's so amazing. I'm like, do you know how many fucking diapers I've changed? 1 in a million. Like, are you kidding me? But it's true because none of the men in our circle were doing it, and it seemed so fucking great.
Yeah.
I'm always telling my husband, like, it's because your gender sucks so bad.
Yeah. It's a really
That's what
shocking
elevates
thing.
your game.
Yeah. It's really like, yeah, we could, there's so many sketches in that world. So many millions. Like,
Well, probably even just in your industry, like,
yeah, it can be,
oh,
yeah, what?
well, since you are in Hollywood and you're rubbing elbows with the big timers, who's the biggest celebrity you've met?
Oh, ooh, I don't meet a lot of celebrities. Let me think. Like meet.
Or like, yeah, meet, seen, and encountered, and you can tell whether you like them or not.
So we can go with like my favorite celebrity I've ever seen in like when I was shopping is Tig Notaro. I've gone to tons of her shows.
Yes.
I saw her with her family, and I just like I couldn't breathe. Like I had to leave, I had to walk away. I had to be, and I was like listening to her book at the time. Like I was like, and I saw her and I was like, no.
I could totally see you. That's your kind of humor too.
Yeah, I just left. I couldn't, because in theory, like a very brave version of myself is like, hey, I love your comedy. That's it. Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day. You know, like but I'm like, probably doesn't want to be bothered with her family. Why does she need a compliment from me? Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't need a compliment from me.
Meanwhile, I'd have been like,
Yeah, yeah. I can't do, but that was like the most like, I just was like, I thought about it the rest of the day, and then I immediately looked her up and looked up for shows because I was like, it's been so long since I've seen her. And then I go to her Largo show very, very often. She's like my favorite, makes me feel safe comedian.
yes,
Yeah, like I sit and
totally.
she could have nothing. She could have nothing and come to the stage and I'd be like, you got
I'm just
me.
happy to see you.
You're
Yeah.
gonna make me laugh and
Yeah.
you could talk about nothing. And I would just be like, I feel so safe. Um, yeah, she's great.
Speaking of funny and safe and feeling warm and fuzzy, your man blew up in a sock video.
He did, yeah, 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 he did.
Is he seriously endorsed or sponsored by Hanes Socks now?
Haynes has not asked us anything. They just asked for our home address to send us a gift.
To send this, but when I saw him, I was like, I think that's the same guy she was seeing.
Yeah,
I knew you guys had broken up,
yeah,
and I was like, God, I can't wait to ask her about it. I hope it's the same guy.
yeah.
I felt like that was. So, how did you guys decide to get back together?
The pandemic kind of brought us together a little bit. Like he had moved out and we had been dating. Like that was one of the things when we broke up. I was just like, I feel like we never dated. I feel like you kind of didn't have to court me. Like you kind of just like
Oh,
moved in.
wow.
And I think he understood the concept, but then it took until he moved out and he was like, do you want to come to dinner with me? And I would be like, oh my God, like, standards. You're like, oh my God, dinner. So nice. Like, and then it just took a little building and then we started watching a show together. So we had like once a week, we'd have a date and
What
like
show did
talk.
you watch together?
The morning show.
Oh, was that good?
I love the first season. I didn't get into the second. I don't know
What's your
why.
genre? Are you more into comedies?
I'm more into comedies. It could be
Yeah.
that I just fell out of that. I love the first season. I'm sure the second season is great, but I just like, and also we were probably so into it because we were like, yeah, we have to finish the show. It would be weird if we didn't finish the show. So we just kept hanging out. So it was like a slow burn. Then I think I had to pick up something from his apartment and my phone. I called him right before I was like driving from somewhere and I was like, my phone's about to die. I'm either going to end up at your apartment or in an hour I'm going to be home with my phone charged because I won't know how to get there.
Ah.
And then my phone died and then I tried to find it and I found it and he was just standing in the middle of the road waiting, like looking.
Oh.
And I was like, I love this man. Like what? Like just waiting, like looking in the middle. Like I was just like
Like a lost dog.
yeah, I was like, he's like, oh, he'll just wait and help
I'm
her
just
find
gonna
my
wait till she
apartment.
comes back, my owner.
Yeah. And I was like, like
Man
my yeah.
propose. I need to
What?
know. How did he propose? The sock.
We were at my parents' house in Wyoming.
Did you know it was
And
coming?
no idea because I'm like always been like, I don't know, marriage is kind of like, all I know is that I just never wanted anybody to own me. So like I was just like, I don't really know enough about marriage to know whether or not
You
it's
want it or not?
something that I
Yeah.
want to do. I don't want to change my last name. I don't want to do any work. I'm a lazy person.
Oh,
Strong,
can attest to that.
strong.
I mean me.
No. I just like can go at filmmaking and my art nonstop. The second it comes to like just like household, normal, like having a wedding, engagement, no motivation, zero. Like people, yeah, I can't find the motivation. I'm tired. So we were at my parents' house. His family was there. My family was there. We because our families hang out. They've been hanging out for almost a decade. which is so nice. They've known each other for years.
That's lovely.
It's really, really nice. We really love the fact that we can just like, hey, let's all hang out for a weekend.
Love it.
And then we were going on a trip to Greece and Ireland with a couple of friends for a couple weeks. And so we drove to Wyoming to drop our dog off with my parents. And we were just hanging out by the river, and my whole family went away because I don't think I could handle being proposed to in front of people, because I'd immediately feel like I'd have to put on a show of like, I don't know, just something. So we were just sitting. I was with my nephew who was like 6 months at the time, and I was just like playing with him. I don't think the plan was that he was going to be there, but he was there. And he had our dog come up, and then he was like, oh, look at her collar. And I was like, what? And there was a bag on her collar, like a little baggie with 2 rings in it. And I was like holding my nephew like, what is that?
Should I drop this guy?
I'm like, get out of here, baby. I don't need to perform in front of this baby. So I didn't put my nephew down, but I was like, what is that? And then he was like, will you marry me? He didn't get it. We were just sitting together, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like, not why not? And then he gave me his great grandmother's ring. So it's this very old antique ring. It's in my room. And again, another thing, I like kind of wear it a lot. But every once in a while, I just like, I don't know. I just like the freedom of just not feeling like I have to follow these rules that I don't know who set these rules. I don't like those rules. So I kind of like to do my own thing. And then I told him I don't want an expensive ring. I'm not an expensive ring kind of lady, but I am a ring person. So I asked him to just buy me like antique rings every once in a while, and I'll always wear them on my finger, but I don't want them to be like an obvious engaged. She's married, she's engaged. I like cool rings, so I didn't want to give up my style of that.
I love that.
And so
are you planning the wedding yet?
Kind of. We planned that we're gonna elope or go to the courthouse.
Nice.
We haven't picked which yet.
Yeah.
We have talked about just having an engagement party where everyone's invited, and because everyone's like, you have to at least do a registry. Like all the people I've talked to who eloped or did something, they were like, look, there's only one thing we missed out, and it's like, do a registry or do like a wedding fund. Like if you don't care how I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll take money, great. Well, one day we won't buy a house in LA, but one day maybe we'll own property somewhere. So we're still in the works. We're both following our art so heavily that it's really difficult to find the time to do this stuff that costs the money that we want to spend on ourselves. And
like you said, who makes these norms? It's up you guys.
Exactly. So we kind of are like trying to feel out what makes us excited to do. So we're probably going to go to the courthouse, get married on a random day, and then go on a trip. Because another thing I looked up, getting married in other countries is really hard. Like a lot of them have rules.
It's a lot of
they
work.
say Denmark is the Vegas of Europe. So that was the closest we got. We were like, maybe Denmark, sure.
We did a big wedding. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it was like 150 people, and
that's pretty big.
A lot of work. But then I loved our vow renewal, which was just us in Hawaii.
Aww.
And we wrote our vows, and it was just like small and intimate. And I love that so much more for me.
That's what,
but
and I
like both. So
that advice. Yeah. I love hearing like all the things like that. I'm always like, okay, what were your do's and don'ts? What do you regret? What do you wish you had done?
Yeah. Especially knowing you're not like a big fuss person. So it just becomes like work for other people. And it's like, wait, why are you doing work for other people when it's about the two of you?
Yeah. And I think that I would just feel so much pressure to.
Yes, you would.
I just would be like, oh.
No, just do it for you. Always know that and you don't have to feel bad for anyone. This is about you too.
Yeah,
Don't
and
think
luckily
about
both of our parents are
it.
very
Exactly.
like,
They're already cool anyway.
in fact, they both don't want us to have a wedding. They're tired. They were like, please, please just do something really simple. Don't do a thing. We don't
Yeah.
want to have to do a thing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, no problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, okay, I wish I wasn't rushed, but I have to get going.
Yes.
I love you so much. And
I
I
love
can't
you
wait
too.
to
This
see you
is
in
so
person.
fun.
So we're gonna do like I'll call you for real and
Yeah.
we'll like hatch out plans, but I can't wait to hang out with you and give you the biggest hug. And now that I'm no, you're not Korean, I won't try to like talk things you learn about
That's
friends.
the best reveal. That's truly the best.
I'm all
you're
like,
just like,
read
what?
this cup, Larissa.
Honestly, I wish I could, man. What an incredible person I would have been if I could have read that. I'll work on it. I'll work on my written Korean. I love you.
We'll do this soon
Thanks
again.
for having me. I'll
Thank you
see you
for
soon.
being here. Such an impromptu thing. I love you.
I love you too. I'll talk to you
Director.
soon. Bye.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.